the dollar seems to be firmer right now. Things are all the major indices in negative territory, but the dollar is going up, and that's primarily due to some things that are going on around the globe. But primarily, I think sequester has been a good thing for the dollar. I said it would be, and I think it is. They're not admitting that. They're not talking about that, but it's definitely somewhat of an encouraging sign, not to mention the job numbers making the dollar look a little bit stronger. Now, the other thing that's making the dollar look a little bit stronger is the other currencies start to look weaker. Obviously, the basket of currencies that we're being weighed against play on that, and in fact, that's part of it as well. One of the things right now, though, that is firming up the dollar, and I talked a little bit about this earlier, is the fact that the Fed, or there is speculation. It's not widely speculative, but what they're saying is, what some are saying is that they believe that it looks like America is on course for the Fed to start pulling back, maybe by June, saying, well, we're not going to buy $85 billion, we're going to start cutting back. Now, I think that would be wonderful. I think there would be a little bit of pain. I think it would be a little bit of a correction for the markets, but I think it would be good and healthy. Will they do it? Well, I think the question is more, will they be able to do it? In my opinion, they will not be able to do it. Because the fact of the matter is, yes, the markets are now addicted to this drug of stimulus. But you also have to remember that China, Japan, and other nations are not buying our debt like they used to. Somebody's got to buy it. So the Fed announcing that they're going to buy another $1 trillion worth of debt gives the Treasury permission to spend, knowing that they have the dollars printed that they're going to need to pay the bills. The Fed, if they stop that, is going to mean that somebody's got to pick the slack up. So if the dollar continues to look firm between now and June, so firm that the dollar becomes a flight to security, safety, and strength, maybe, I'm just saying maybe, China, Japan, and other nations start coming in. If other nations are coming in a big way, that would allow the Fed to slow down its buying. Now, it sounds like I'm saying that, wait a minute, the Fed and the Treasury, Fed being a private entity, Treasury being the government, they're supposed to be independent of each other and not have anything to do with each other. But it sounds like I'm saying that they're in cahoots with all this, right? That they're working together. Well, if it sounds like I'm saying that, it's because that's exactly what I'm saying, and I've been saying it for 2 years. So, I think that Timothy Geithner some time ago went to Bernanke and said, hey, look, I got a problem. I got to pay the electric bill. I don't have any money. I got to print the money. I can't print all the money I need because China, Japan, and others aren't buying the debt because I need so much right now. I need to be able to issue and monetize a lot more money, and then the Fed steps in. So that's just my bit of a conspiracy theory on all of that. But we shall see. Here's something interesting. Many of you don't know who John Paulson is. I do. He's probably the titan of hedge funds. He manages billions and billions of dollars in his fund. He's no related to Hank Paulson, by the way. No relation to Hank. But anyway, he has himself personally $9.5 billion invested in his own hedge fund. Well, he's thinking about moving. He's thinking about moving to Puerto Rico. Why? Because Puerto Rico does not have a capital gains tax. Think about, I've got an investment. This is just one of his investments, $9.5 billion. And you have a capital gains on that, and you got to pay 20% of capital gains tax on that money. That's an awful lot of money. Is it worth the move to another country in order to avoid it? Well, in his case, it probably, at least he thinks it is. He's 57 years old. He's been a lifetime New Yorker. And now he's looking at one of the most expensive neighborhoods in San Juan in Puerto Rico, thinking about making a move. I think there are other people that have already moved, and this is going to spur even more. So I was talking about nations not buying the currency, the U.S. dollar, and the Fed's got to stay in it. Norway, this is coming out of Norway, announced. Now, Norway has a $713 billion sovereign wealth fund that's one of the biggest currency wealth funds in the world. And what they basically came out and said is they are divesting or limiting and lowering the percentages of currencies that they own that have debt. They're trying to cut back on the currencies that are involved in monetary easing and trashing their currencies. So their French holdings, their UK holdings, their US holdings are being cut because the government is too close to continuing to buy and trash the currency. They are saying this is not a good investment. They are moving their holdings to Turkey and Russia and Taiwan and other nations that have a stronger currency. Now, the Norway currency has increased about 23% over the last year. It's dramatically changed. And the International Monetary Fund predicts world developed economies will only grow 1.4% this year. And they want to make sure that they are removed somewhat from the risk of Japan and Europe, France, U.S., and others that are trashing their currency. So I just got finished. Now, this is just Norway. This is one small sovereign wealth fund. But think about if China starts taking that attitude, what that's going to do. So at the same time that I just got finished saying, is the Fed, which I don't think the Fed's going to start reducing what they're buying, the question is, are they going to be able to? And I think Norway is making a very smart move because they're getting ahead of everybody else. They are jumping to the front of the line, selling U.S. debt, while U.S. debt can still, why the U.S. government can still buy the debt or afford to pay them what they own on it. Now, they don't have a lot. It's not like they're China and they have 1.4 trillion, but nevertheless, better to be in front of the line, get your money when you can get it, and that's what they're doing. At the same time, the Fed or the Treasury needs more. So here you go. You've got the Treasury has to pay out what Norway has, which I'm sure is not a whole lot of money. It doesn't say in this article coming out of Norway how much it is.